Donald Trump has announced a conditional 2-week ceasefire in the ongoing U.S. and Israeli conflict with Iran. But the big question remains: do his claims of total victory actually match the reality on the ground? While this war has clearly demonstrated the overwhelming power of the American military and its advanced technology, it has also exposed serious limitations, especially against Iran's tactical resilience. At the start of the conflict, the U.S. had clear objectives: to stop Iran's nuclear enrichment program, dismantle its proxy groups like Hezbollah, destroy its ballistic missile capabilities, and ultimately push for regime change. However, despite thousands of airstrikes and massive firepower, Iran's core system still appears intact, with its leadership, military structure, and internal institutions continuing to function. Reports suggest over 10,000 combat flights and more than 13,000 targets have been hit, with AI-assisted targeting playing a major role, yet Iran's underground facilities and missile systems have not been fully eliminated. In fact, Iran has continued retaliatory strikes using advanced ballistic and hypersonic missiles, many of which are stored deep underground, making them extremely difficult to destroy. On the other side, the U.S. has had to rely heavily on expensive defense systems like Patriot and THAAD interceptors, which are being used at a rapid pace, raising concerns about long-term sustainability and depleted stockpiles. Another key factor in this war has been the use of low-cost Iranian drones, which, despite being simple, have proven highly effective in draining high-value U.S. defense resources. At the same time, attacks on energy infrastructure have disrupted global oil supplies, pushing fuel prices higher and increasing economic pressure worldwide. Now, as this temporary ceasefire begins, the biggest challenge will be turning it into a lasting peace, because the reality is that Iran has not been fully weakened, and the U.S. has not completely achieved its strategic goals. Beyond the battlefield, this conflict has also shifted global dynamics, with countries like Russia and China indirectly benefiting from the situation. In the coming days, negotiations will decide whether this ceasefire leads to real stability or just a short pause in a much larger conflict. But one thing is certain: this war is far from over, and it is now entering a new and unpredictable phase.